Welcome to the Coda podcast. In this episode, I'm speaking with Alfie Wright from Clique Visuals. Known for his high-energy films, Alfie breaks down how he creates an environment on a wedding day that gives the couples the freedom to really be themselves. We talk about how that approach not only creates brilliant moments for him to capture, but also helps make sure his couples have the best possible experience on the day. And in true Alfie fashion, you also get into some of the juicy stuff, including the story of the time he actually removed a content creator from a wedding. So strap in, here's Alfie. Good evening, Alfie. Welcome back to the Coda podcast. How are you, mate?
I really didn't think you were going to ever ask me back, to be honest, Roo. Oh, dear.
I loved our first chat, mate, but then I've been online checking you out on your socials and the way your year has been unfolding. I thought, I've got to get this guy back on.
You can hear my voice is like aircon damaged from like planes and travelling and just being run down. So I've got like a sexy voice for podcasting here, Roo.
So we've got you at your weakest, so to see what secrets I can get out of you. So
you don't have to push me hard to get me to start spilling beans on stuff, Roo.
But let's get into your year. Let's talk about this year specifically then. So How many weddings are you doing this year?
I'm around 50 this year, 8 of them abroad, but I guess because of how the business has changed and like I'm not just shooting exclusively in Yorkshire anymore, and the travelling's like, it has been killing me off, to be honest. I've nearly every wedding feels like it's either a flight or a 3-hour drive away, and I guess it's good in a way because, you know, it can be quite tough getting higher budgets up north, and you've got to travel down south to get some of them higher budget bookings, I guess. So I think one thing that I'm probably going to do a lot on this podcast with you, Roo, is complain about things that are actually a good thing. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in sort of our positions where one day years ago we were like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to be booked up with amazing weddings and, you know, be able to travel everywhere with it. And, you know, we're in such a privileged position, but all we do is whinge and moan about it. But yeah,
but it's not that straightforward though, is it, Alfie? It's like, it's this glamorous lifestyle, and it's something that you've worked hard and built towards to be in a position where you can book these weddings abroad and, you know, amazing budget weddings. But you've got 3 lads at home, haven't you? And
I go to weddings for a break. Like genuinely, that's how it. Probably when I go to weddings and I'm so like full of energy and like I'm running around like a madman and sort of being everyone's hype man and stuff. They think like I'm a bit like nuts and stuff. But that it's like a normal easy day for me because I'm used to like chasing 3 little boys around and play fighting and, you know, this house is carnage. And to be fair, last year, God, this is how bad I am. Like I'm actually forgetting between what's happened this summer and what last summer. I used to love going away and traveling, and, you know, that's probably when you're starting out in this industry, it's something you kind of set as a goal, like, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to go shoot a wedding in Italy or France or wherever? And then I was starting to get them, and then I had a period last year where I managed, very fortunately, to get 4 weddings in France in a week, and I could just drive between them all. I were on my own, travelling around, and one of the days I like WhatsApp called Emily, my partner with the kids, and I were like on the phone for like an hour or something, like seeing all this madness, which is what I'm used to, and that being my home, and then putting the phone down, and then all of a sudden I'm sat in like an empty apartment in a rural French village on my own with another day to kill before like a 2-hour drive to the next venue. And I just, that when it like hit me, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's not as glamorous as maybe I once thought. I mean, there's pros and cons to destination weddings, but that is definitely one of the cons that started to affect me a little bit more, really, and missing home. And would it make sense financially doing more at home, or is it just the fact that you can get a better budget on these abroad weddings? But I mean, when you take in consideration the time away from home and the flights and stuff, does it all kind of pan out level? Or I mean, my pricing does vary quite a lot, and I'll go into that after in a minute. But like, it is hard, and well, sometimes you're not in a position to be choosy. If an inquiry comes in, you've got a quote for it, and you know, if it's, don't matter where it is, I'll quote for it, and you might not get any other inquiries for that date. So you've got to take what comes your way, really. And I guess because I've done so many, and a lot of my favourite weddings, the best weddings, the videos that have got the most traction online and stuff have been destinations. So they're going to attract more destination stuff.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but I mean, you've just got to price it right, factor in your days away and all this extra stuff. But I mean, the one thing for me is that I've never really done like a celebrity wedding, or I don't think I've ever done anything that's like, when you see like silly budget stuff.
Yeah.
But when a potential client comes onto my Instagram, my thinking is they'll look on there and go, oh, Alfie's done a wedding in France. Oh, he's been to Italy and done a wedding. It's almost like he must be good. It's almost like a seal of approval.
Yeah.
If someone's flying you out to these other countries, they must put a lot of trust and faith into you. So it's almost like the equivalent of 10 5-star reviews for me, I guess. And I guess when you do these destination weddings, when you've got all these people traveling over, they're already in holiday mode. They don't need as much encouragement to be a bit more smiley on camera and just enjoy themselves a little bit more. You might have welcome dinners that kind of gets a lot of the formalities out of the way, the sort of boring, oh, how have you been kind of conversation. Wedding day, all that's done and it's straight into having a good time. So they do tend to be a little bit on another level, especially for us wanting to get interaction, and the nice weather normally helps as well in that as well.
Yeah, because your style is very much kind of like the high energy party theme, isn't it? And destination weddings lend themselves to that. You get that kind of energy on tap, don't you?
Yeah. It does definitely help. It sort of goes hand in hand, really. I guess it tends to be a little bit more informal. I guess you're not going over to, I don't know, Tuscany to do a church wedding as such. It's normally like something a bit more informal with a celebrant. It's just more informal, more fun, being out in the sun and stuff. I guess probably going back to the pricing thing, I'm trying to stay focused here and not try and go off on tangents and miss things out. But when it comes to pricing, I'm super flexible on this. And I can remember Philip White touched on this at your Coda conference about, not every wedding's going to be a crazy high budget, the maximum what you think you could get. So I have about 10 versions of the same wedding brochure, all the same brochure, but different prices going up in increments of £250. Look, I wish I could get these high budget bookings every weekend that you see on Instagram and stuff, but I'm not getting enough of them to sort of fill my year up and, get a year's worth of money in. But I also don't want to miss out on them when they do come by underquoting. So for me, if a wedding inquiry comes in and it's midweek in February, it's a local barn in Yorkshire, I know they ain't got £5,000 to drop on a videographer. So I can go in at like half that and I'll send in like my lowest price brochure. I'm quiet. I need to fill my time up. I'm happy to do some of them as well. So I'll send lowest price brochure for that. If it's a Saturday, maybe next one up. If it's a bit of travelling, next one up. If it's a Saturday in August at a really expensive grand venue, I've got to send like something that's higher, maybe 4 or 5, because them sort of weddings, them couples might want to pay the most. If they go and get four different quotes and they're like £6,000, £5,000, 7, and you come in at 3, that couple might just disregard you straight away without even looking at your work because they think you're half the price, you must be half the quality. So I always just want to quote about what I think everyone else is quoting for that same job, and I want them to pick me based on me being the right fit for them, not because I'm cheaper or expensive. I mean, you might think, well, are you kind of ripping off the people who you charge double to? My thinking is, no, I'm actually doing a really good deal to the people I'm charging 2.5 to.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's why I look at it, because I do similar to you. Like I offer lower prices to certain weddings. You can read the room from the inquiry. You get a gauge, right? It's
date, it's venue, it's maybe if you know what the photographer is on that wedding, because we kind of get a rough idea of how much photographers are charging now. I know a photographer who asks for the name of the dress designer. If they're coming in, the dresses start at like 15 grand. You're not going to go in at 2 grand for a video, are you?
I wonder what they think about that question on the form. I wonder if brides thinking, oh, they've got such an interest in what our thing is. That now I want to know how much you're paying.
Yeah, I'm fishing. But it's like, Middleton Lodge is a really popular venue up north, which probably most videographers have heard of. I know, like they'll do a Monday wedding in February, and it's about 6 grand for the venue. For the exact same package, for like a Saturday in August, it can go up to between 30 and 40 grand for the same thing. So like if venues are adapting the prices for different times, like it's fine for me to do that, but also you can price every job for it to work for you then. So for example, if you had a booking for Thursday and you had a booking for Saturday, someone inquires for the Friday and like, oh, I could do it, but it's going to be hard work. I'll quote really high. And then if they take, it's like, it's worth it, the hassle and the hard work. If I get an inquiry for one of the kids' birthdays, I'll quote it really high again. And if they take, it's like, well, it'll pay for the kids' entire birthday, whatever they want. I'll take them to Smith's, free reign. Go get what you want. But it's making every job work for you. And then going back to the destinations, there's no right and wrong answer. And you sometimes you see people, in the Facebook groups, oh, I don't know what to quote for this. What do you want? What would it take you to go away for those days? Like it's completely, how long's a piece of string? It's whatever works for you and your business. Yeah.
I tell you what though, mate, like ever since I've been charging correctly for destinations, I haven't been booking many. It's because as soon as I realised, I was like, well, it's going to be $1,000 in expenses more than likely. Yeah. So I've just been putting my normal prices with $1,000 on top.
So Roo, I don't really listen to podcasts, but when you asked me to come back on here, I did listen to your one with Matt from PS because I just love Matt and I think he's got
what a legend.
Business. Yeah, obviously. And I can remember you saying this and I thought, if he asked me, I've got this. So I think if you went in and said, I'm a $3,000 videographer, but I want $1,000 for expenses, but then they come to me and I go, I'm going to charge you $3,500 for video, but I only want £500 expenses. We're getting the same amount, but the couple are thinking with me, they're getting a $3,500 videographer.
Yeah.
I always set my expenses to 500, even though it doesn't cover it, but I send a higher price brochure. So the couples think they're getting a higher value videographer. I don't know, it's just one little thing I sort of picked up on and thought, that could work.
I hide them completely.
Oh, you hide it completely and you just back the quote.
Yeah, because basically based on exactly what you were saying, like I think if I send a brochure and it's like kind of it's like $5,000, but it's $1,000 of that is for my pricing it'd be $4,500, but $1,000 of that is travel. But they don't know that. And it just says in the brochure, all travel is included, right? Yeah. So they just look at that and they think, right, there it costs us $4,500. They don't even know what that because like you said, it's lost money, isn't it?
Yeah. They might think, why would I pay $1,000 to get this person out when I could just get a videographer over there who's higher priced and maybe better without the need for extra travel.
You want them to think the price is exactly. It's all psychology. It's all psychology. But that was something like I've gone on straight away. I was thinking, I think it was when I was looking for my own wedding. It was like there was some photographers that were charging like per mile to get to me. I was thinking, I'm not actually getting I'm not getting a better product from you from paying this extra money. I'm literally just paying for you to get here. But whereas other people, if they were hiding it in their package, and I thought every penny I was spending on them was value in terms of their skill. So it's just the way around it, isn't it? So you got like 50 odd bookings this year, right? Yes. So insane amount. How do you work your years? Do you have a financial target? And is there like a certain amount of weddings that you'll only be able to physically handle, or is it just a case of I'm just getting in as many as I can because I need to bring in as much money as possible?
Yeah, I guess. I think when you have these chats with people, everyone's like circumstances are very different. Like there's probably some videographers out there who have partners that work and, they maybe don't have as many I'm thinking of a word. I can't think of it. Responsibilities. So, for example, with me, we've got the 3 little boys. And Emily, now we've moved house. Emily's dying for another one, which I'm trying to put off best I can.
You're joking.
No, she wants a girl because we've got 3 boys, and I know she'd end up pregnant with twin boys. That's why I'm putting it off.
Mate, you ain't around enough for that to happen anyway.
I know. It's my own fault because I used to joke about wanting my own 5-a-side football team, and honestly, it's a reality. But yeah, sorry. So obviously we've got the one income coming into the house. I think in the last couple of years, we've lent parents on both sides money. Like we don't come from a background of money. And if I didn't get enough money coming in with the weddings, like there ain't no one helping us. So there's always like that anxiety that I have with work. And that's probably I guess the driving force behind me working as hard as I do. I don't think it's because I'm naturally hard working, Roo. I'm just get shitless. The last job I had before doing this, I bloody hated. And last thing I want to do is for the weddings to dry up and me go back to stacking concrete pipes on trailers, to be honest. So yeah, I guess I don't. I know you're into all your stats and all that, and I guess I'm too busy shooting weddings to have time to correlate and build up stats and all that. So I don't know. I just take on what I can, mate, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's no science behind it. It's, make hay while the sun shines, I guess. And, styles change. And I know I've got quite a particular style, and maybe that's quite in now with it being, a lot of videos are quite energetic and informal and more about the party, which has worked really well for me. But, next year it might be something completely different and maybe not a style that works for me. So yeah, just try and make as much as I can. But I mean, I have worked, I've done some horrible back-to-backs this year. I'll tell you one story. I won't go too long, but when you see like Instagram, you think, oh, they're having a good time. It looks like they're having, they're going to these nice weddings. I'll tell you this story. I had a wedding in France booked in for a Saturday, and I had an inquiry coming for the day before the Friday. A really big wedding with a really big, amazing planner. I've never really worked with wedding planners, not like big prestigious ones anyway. And this one came in, and I'm like, I need to take this wedding. I can't not do it. It could potentially, me reaching out, grabbing the next branch of like, that type of wedding. So anyway, I quoted for it, ended up getting this booking. So I got up Friday morning, left home about 6 in the morning, drove for 3 hours down to Oxfordshire. I were at that wedding until 12:30 at night. I drove for an hour, slept in the car for an hour at a service station, drove another hour, put my car on charge and slept in the car for another hour, got to Stansted for 5 a.m. The flight was at 7, flew to France, got there around 11, got in my rental car, drove for an hour, got to the wedding at 12 in France, and I were at that wedding till 3:30 in the morning working, filming, because the dance floor were amazing. I thought, I'm in France, I'm going to shoot this. So I did all that big long day in nearly 40-degree heat on 2 hours sleep in the car and an hour on the plane.
You must have stank, mate.
Oh, mate. I pulled up at the wedding in France in like kind of clothes like this, and I had to like do a quick shh and get to it. And then the day after that, I shot the pool party. The day after that, I had a 2.5 hour drive to go to another wedding in France to shoot there. Sort of welcome dinner, wine tasting thing, and then wedding day, next day, pool party. I flew home after the pool party, but it's been non-stop. And I might have a lot of weddings, but I bloody graft from, I've done quite a lot of these sort of crazy back-to-backs, and I know some people wouldn't even have even considered that. They'd have been like, no, I've got a booking there. It'd be too much hard work. Like, I do work hard for it, bro. It's not always easy. Yeah, so I had backups. I'd contacted a photographer friend in France, and he gave me some like good videographers. So I had people on backup, and I mean, I've had some other ones where I had a wedding in France recently, more recent than that, and I had to fly home early morning to do a wedding near an airport that I had booked in for the day after. And literally, again, I had 2 hours sleep in an hotel room and an hour sleep on the plane, and then did the one in the UK. That's why my throat's so knackered.
Do you find, like, I mean, this is how I find it. When I've got them stacked up, I've never done anything as extreme as that, but I've had one. I mean, like last weekend, for example, I managed to get like, I think it's 5 hours sleep in between the weddings. As soon as the wedding starts, like, boom, it's almost like a reset button is pressed, and I'm on it. And it's not until it's kind of an accumulative kind of exhaustion, but that only hits when I finally stop. So are you similar?
Absolutely the same. I think sometimes I like when I'm approaching the wedding, if I'm shattered and you're going up and you're looking for an hotel room or walking into the venue. And as soon as I get in and I see the bride and the bridal party, it's almost like I'm like, oh, I've got a job to do. I'm absolutely on it. I mean, there was a period a few years ago where my middle boy were really ill. I think he was 2.5 at the time, and he was in hospital. He had like lung problems. He was on like intensive care. He was so ill, and like, I was sleeping in the hospital like on a night and like doing shifts with Emily, so someone were always there. So some nights I was sleeping in the hospital with him, absolutely shattered because he were on hourly checks. He were having blood tests every couple of hours, up all night, and then going into some weddings, and you just get there and you have to switch it on.
Yeah.
You have to, I wouldn't say autopilot. I guess sometimes you do go autopilot, don't you, with like the spiel and the sort of conversations you have, but you just do it. And then it's when you come out and then you get in the car and you're like, bloody hell, I wish I'd have booked a travel lodge instead of deciding on a 3-hour drive home.
Definitely. I find quite often with a job, you've got to compartmentalize a few things. Like when my dad passed away, I had weddings around that, and I was just like, well, I've just got to crack on. Like,
there's, you're self-employed, no one's going to do it for you.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And my dad definitely would have been like, don't you dare quit work, stop work just because of me. You know what I mean? So it was like, I'm going to crack on. But I've worked with photographers who can't even seem to compartmentalize even the kind of most minor of problems from their life. And I'm not saying this is all photographers, I'm just saying they're the people I'm working with, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's just some people in general who think they're letting their bad moments from back home really filter through and affect their work. And I think, which makes sense, which is fair enough. Maybe we shouldn't be numbing all our feelings, but when you do this job and you're responsible for all of it, I kind of feel like it's our responsibility to do that to a certain extent.
I've messaged a few photographers and videographers over the last year or two when they've put things on social media about being ill or, you know, like real stuff. But I messaged them and I've been like, no, you can't do that. You can't ever let a client see a weakness in you. You have to be bulletproof. You have to be invincible. You can't give a client a 1% excuse to not book you. Like if you put something on and you're like, oh, I'm just out of office, I've not been well, I'll reply to emails in 2 days, or you know, something like that. A client might be deciding on booking you of saying, oh, you're ill, and are you one of those who, you know, was always ill? And you think, what if I cancelled on my wedding day? Oh, and all it takes is that seed that can grow into something to make them not book you. You have to be invincible. Like there were a time when I was really, really ill. I mean, both ends ill type thing. And I had a wedding at Grantley Hall, as in like posh place, like one of the most amazing venues in North. And I was so bad the day before this wedding and I was scared to death. I'd packed extra clothes in the car. And that day, it was like my body just locked up. It was like, I've got you today, Alfie. And then the day after, both ends again. Terrible. But I guess you get yourself, you just do it, don't you? You just, your body just works in weird ways and your head works in weird ways. It's just, I think when you know you've got a job to do, I don't know, I can't really explain it. You just get there and you just do it, don't you?
Yeah, you find it somewhere, don't you?
You find a way,
yeah. You find the energy, you find the kind of motivation, you get it done.
And the day after you die.
Yeah, exactly. But that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Then I know that your films do rely on people. I've heard people say this about your work, that you must get like the kind of like most high energy couples, the most fun weddings. But I think that you would probably want to kind of remove that myth, don't you? That it's not a coincidence that you're getting those kind of weddings. And there's a lot of work that you're putting in.
So I listened to James Tracy, his podcast on the British Film Awards pod that they've been doing. And I got a little mention on there, and James, like, you know, you look at Alfie's videos, it always looks like the wild parties, like they're crazy. But I genuinely don't believe that my weddings are that different to anyone else's, really. I think probably one of the things I'm really good at is just making people feel comfortable. And I think a lot of people in our industry get too caught up on what they can do with the camera to get a better film, whether it's get a new lens, get a new piece of equipment. Oh, I'll buy this new FX5 that's come out and my videos are going to be so much better. But I think probably one of my superpowers is talking, obviously. I think that's the most obvious thing I do. But I think it can be so powerful on a wedding day just to talk and communicate. And I always feel like whenever I go to a wedding, I just want to make sure everyone's going to have a good time first before I do anything on the camera. Sometimes I can be in the bridal room for half an hour before I shoot a shot, because I'll just go and sit near the bride and I'll like, oh, we're excited for today. And I'm like, if they're not excited, I'm like, why are you not excited? We've got this amazing thing happening. And I try and lift everyone, and if all the bridesmaids there, I'll be like, right, girls, are we all ready for a bridesmaid pep talk? This is what we're going to do today. This is what we're going to do when we're walking down the aisle. And we'll do when the florists come in, they normally do where to all the flowers. I'll do it. and I'll be lifting everyone. I'll be like, also, we all need to be on each other. We're each of us cheerleader today. Posture is everything. I'm on a computer Monday to Friday. I'm like a prawn. I'm like this. So everyone like this, shoulders back, everyone looking amazing. When we're walking down the aisle, I'm going to be at the front near the groom to get some close-ups in case he cries. But when you're walking down aisle, don't get nervous and look at the floor. If it's the least awkward thing, just smile at my camera. I'll get some lovely shots of you guys then. Also, bride, have we picked anyone to be the dress fluffer during ceremony? And they'll go, maybe my maid of honour. So I'll go, right, maid of honour. After bride's walk down the aisle, give her a few seconds and then go in there, fluff the dress out. We can have a little practice when she's in it later. But the point of it is we just want her to look amazing all day. Already the bride is feeling confident because she knows I'm looking after her. The bridesmaids are feeling confident because they know I've got their back. That I'm not going to film a bad angle of them. I want them all. We're a team. I'm already like one of them, and they sort of take me under the wing, and I'm like one of a team. And I'll do the same when I go see the boys. Straight away, I'm like laughing, I'm joking with them. I'm like, lads, make sure we've got nothing in the front pockets, no phones or vapes. I don't want to be seeing them today. Posture as well. Come on. I want you all to look like Daniel Craig when he's getting out of the Aston Martin at Monte Carlo on the James Bond films or whatever. I'm just having a bit of a laugh with them. I'm talking before I shoot anything, and I want them all to know I'm a normal person. I do have a camera. I will occasionally film some stuff, but yeah, it's just building that rapport. And then also one of the other big things I think really helps is I do a big pre-wedding video chat with them. And I'll just run through the day from start to finish. I'll start off with bridal prep. I'll make sure they know to have a good Bluetooth speaker, a playlist set up, because how awkward is it when you go into a room on a morning and it's quiet? I mean, not ideal if you want to catch audio, but again, for me, guest experience and couples experience comes before anything I do on video. Like, my video is second to experience every single time. I will not force anything for a better shot unless it's really worth it. So yeah, good music in the morning. Make sure they've got loads of snacks, because I'll be like, look, you might not feel like eating a big meal in the morning. You might not have slept well. We need music to keep the energy up. We need some snacks because I don't want you getting drunk and having drinks on an empty stomach. I'll mention like the posture and all that kind of jazz. Talk about the ceremony. What else? I will then go on about drinks reception. I'll make sure they know when drinks reception starts. I'm like, look, guys, I don't want you to see a camera for first 30 minutes of that drinks reception. I don't care what your photographer says. You just need to go and relax after that ceremony. You need to go have a drink, enjoy yourself, see your guests. And it's all about connecting with a couple and telling them kind of what they want to hear, but maybe different to what the parents have been telling them, because sometimes I'd like to think couples look at me as being like the wedding expert who's going to look after them on the wedding day and make sure parents don't interfere too much. I'm going to make sure these two are going to have the best day ever. I want them to trust me, and I'll get the best out of them then. But yeah, I'll just go through the rest of the day like that, and I'll sort of give them tips. I'll not quite a wedding planner, but I guess almost a wedding planner. And if they have this call with me before they book, like early days, I'll still do the same thing with them, and I'll give them recommendations for suppliers. I want the couple to know I really, really care about their wedding day being amazing and being fun. And I always say to them, like, the less you two actually think about cameras and any sort of posy bits or any formalities, if you just concentrate on having a fun day with all your guests, ironically, my video is going to turn out a lot better. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'd like to think a lot of that does help, because you've got to remember, any couple that's getting married most of the time haven't been married before. They don't really know what a wedding day is like. And if you've been to a wedding as a guest before you've got married, you don't really take it all in. You don't really see what the couple are off doing sometimes. You don't see a lot of it. So it's not really being patronising. You've got to treat them like the bloody idiots when it comes to weddings. And they will really, really appreciate that. And like, literally, I've had so many emails and messages recently, like after the weddings, saying we honestly, we're so appreciative of all the advice you gave us and all the help you gave us. And I had a wedding recently where there were 4 photographers. Well, God, I can't even say it. 3 photographers and an assistant. And when we went on the couple shoot, I were on my own with 4 of them, and I was the one carrying the bride's dress and then fluffing it out while all 4 of them stood and watched me. Like, honestly, I thought it was mental. But again, the bride was so appreciative and sent such lovely words. Like, and I think on a wedding day, if you go above and beyond like that and you just try and be helpful, be nice, it goes a long way. And I think they'll build up your video then because they've had such a positive experience with you. You could send a 7 out of 10 video, but because you've been so nice on the wedding day, they'll build that up to an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. But
flip it, if you've been no help all day, you've not been fun to be around, you could deliver an 8 out of 10 film. But because, the overall experience is going to be a 6 out of 10, and they're not likely to recommend you if you work the full package.
You're putting groundwork in to make the couple feel comfortable, and then on the wedding day itself, you're doing everything you can to make the kind of bridal party aware that you're like an ally and you're there to help support them. Yeah. You're going to get them on board, and they're going to then kind of like work with you rather than trying to avoid you. And they know that you're there, got their best interests at heart when it comes to film.
It's building rapport. Rapport. It's building rapport. It's just making them really comfortable. And then later on, like when I'm on dance floor, they'll come and dance with me. Like, because when I'm on a dance floor, like my camera's almost like chest high. I'll hold it here, and I'm like one arm's up always. I'm dancing away, and like I'll go and dance with people, and they're looking at my face. They don't even know the camera's here. Like I'm just dancing with people. I'm going round, and if they notice the camera, they're comfortable, and they'll do things that maybe they wouldn't do with other videographers if you've not had that rapport all day. And I always go 3 hours before ceremony just to do that rapport building.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you can film for 3 hours before ceremony. There's never that much that's needed, but it's just that rapport building. But even like networking with like the hair, the makeup, the wedding coordinator, the florist, I'll go around, I'll chat to everyone. I'll talk to everyone. And again, you never know where referrals can come from. Like literally, I've had referrals from all sorts of wedding suppliers. And like Grantley Hall, for example, that's sort of one of my favourite venues because it's local and they do get really big budget weddings. Like I'm sure I might be the only recommended videographer there, or at most there's 2. I think they keep changing, but I know I've had some like this week, some referrals, and the manager there, she said one of them, and obviously they've had so many amazing videographers work there, lots of big names. She said to me, one of the main reasons we love having you is because you genuinely care about the couple. You don't force them into anything unless it's what they want to do. Like that type of venue, a lot of videographers and photographers go there and try and film as much as they can. They push the couple into doing more couple portraits for their own portfolio because they want it for themselves selfishly. I had a wedding there where a photographer's second, when the main wasn't there, she was travelling back from the church, the second photographer tried to take the couple out for a couple shoot for her own portfolio without the main knowing. Like,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, there was a photographer, last year or year before, who were a guest at a wedding there and took a load of shots and put them on his own portfolio. I didn't think that went down well either. But again, it's just putting the couple first.
Hi guys, it's Roo here, and just a quick break to tell you about brideandgroom.video. Brideandgroom.video are a team of incredible wedding editors who are here to help support you and get your editing queue under control. I recently received my first edit back from them and I've been blown away by the results. I could have delivered that film straight away with no alterations whatsoever. I was really amazed with how they created the story by matching the B-roll to the narrative audio and keeping that flow throughout the whole film. That is a key feature of my own films, so it was great to have a film done by somebody else that still feels like a Roo Films film. So if you are struggling to get wedding films out the door and you're drowning under a pile of editing, I highly recommend brideandgroom.video to help you get back on track. They will help you make films that still feel like you've made them yourself. And if you use the code CODA75, you get £75 off your first order. Now let's get back to the episode. I've seen quite a lot of, I've seen some footage online that you put up where I think it's probably from one of your back cameras during the ceremony or something, where you're kind of like giving instructions to guests, on kind of maybe it's for confetti and things like that. Or
I love a good confetti.
You've just been coordinating things. Yeah. And I wondered, do you ever have conflict with the photographers at all? Because I know you're a confident person. I know you've got.
Week.
Did you? Yeah. Because I imagine, say you're doing all this groundwork and you're saying things like you don't want the couple to see a camera for the first half hour after the confetti stuff, but then maybe the photographer really wants to get groups and stuff done. So there's conflicting information.
Yeah.
Do you find that can like butt against each other when you got a photographer that is more interested in kind of the shots and stuff rather than the kind of couple experience like you are?
Look, I'm not confrontational at all, really. I always have an opinion, but I'm always happy to. I'm not the only person booked to shoot that wedding. Every supplier is equal, like absolutely equal. And I think I'm probably a bit of an anomaly amongst videographers because I'm probably so involved with things. Maybe because I did do photography for a bit, but then a lot of photographers I found are quite introverted as well. And I get a lot of recommendations now. Probably most of my recommendations, referrals, come from photographers. And I'd like to think whenever I work with a new photographer, I just see that as a potential new stream of referrals. So I want to help them as much as I can. Like anything I can do to make the wedding day better will make their photos better. Anything I can do to help, like even with group shots, I'll help if I need, if they haven't got a loud voice, I'll go in there and just help. And I'm not taking over. I'm not trying to step on toes, but I'll ask them. If you need me for anything, please let me know because I'm loud when I need to be. And for example, if they're busy organising who's in the group, I might go in and just micromanage a little bit and like make sure the groom doesn't put his arms around people like this and opens his jacket up. I'll be like, keep your hands down, one hand on pride. And I'll just sort of micromanage a little bit to help make their photos better without sort of taking over. But yeah, I do get some conflict sometimes, and I'll try and meet in the middle, or just try and. That's all you can do. You can meet in the middle and try and work out what's best for both of you. And maybe you pick your battles. Sometimes I'll suggest something, but they might suggest different. I'll be like, well, it's not really a shot I'm that bothered about anyway, so I'll let you win this one. And then later on, when it's a shot that I really want, you're more inclined to let me win that battle. Yeah. But it's about, you want it to be a draw at the end of the day. You want, I picked them free, you got them free. And, it's just communicating as well. And it's, again, I think photographers know I'm only trying to do what's best for the shot, for the couple. With confetti, for example, how often do you just get ready to do the confetti tunnel and a couple might kiss in the middle and then people have already thrown confetti and it looks a bit shy? So I'll say to the photographer first, I'll say, is it all right if I do this? And then what I'll do, you've got your tunnel lined up. I'll go and talk to the people at the end, maybe the last 20% of people. I'll be like, right, everyone, as the couple are walking down, everyone's throwing confetti until they get here to the end. I'm going to say, you and you going backwards, you lot are all going to wait because this is my designated snog zone right here. The couple are going to stop, they're going to snog, and all of you are going to throw when I say 3, 2, 1, throw. And we're going to get an absolute belter shot here right at the end. Just so there's no, sometimes it just looks shit sometimes when you don't organise it. If people have got cannons, I'll space the cannons out. So I've got 2 right at the front, but I'll make sure they know not to just fire it up. Otherwise, it just buggers off into wind and disappears. I'll be like, right, you guys, wait until the couple have walked past you, lean into the aisle, fire it straight down the aisle, up and over their heads, so we get maximum confetti, like coverage in the shot. Then I'll have the other ones sort of in the middle, so when they do the kiss at the end, they can fire it up and over the kiss as well. So I'm just organising it, and just, if you go in, you be decisive, you don't flip-flap about, you just go in, you get shit done. And a lot of photographers have really liked that. And afterwards, so many have gone, fucking hell, Alfie, them shots are unreal. I wish I had you at every wedding. I had a wedding this year where I had my A7S3 on the gimbal and I'd left it were outdoors, and we had like a white, not carpet, but a white runner that everyone was going to do confetti down. So I've left it on there. I'm organising everyone because we've got cannons and all sorts. Go to pick my camera up, lift it up, press record, and after a second, just went off, like stopped recording, and it was really laggy. Couple are literally stood there ready to go, and I'm like, fuck. And they're literally waiting for me to say go. Everyone's lined up. This at Grantley Hall again, and the manager of Grantley Hall were a guest. So I was feeling pressure. It was like one of the biggest weddings we've had. And I literally just went, hang on everyone, my camera's overheated. Just give me 1 second. And my drone were in the air and filmed me running off to go swap to a spare, came running back, got it on the gimbal, and just, I was like, thank you, everyone. I was literally like 40 seconds, but I was so scared. It worked out fine. And like 1 or 2 guests came up to me afterwards and went, oh, Alfie, you handled that really, really well. If anything, the problem made me look better because I handled it like really well. Yeah. But it's just, I want to know what makes a good shot and don't leave anything to chance. Another example is how often when the bride comes down the aisle, does the groom turn around and see her when she stood at the end having someone fluff a dress and she stood like a lemon? Like, I'll always have a chat with the best man and the groomsman. I'll go up to them, either when we're doing buttonholes and stuff, or if I don't have time, when we're at front of the ceremony. Once I've set up, I'll go, right then, boys, have we got a plan for when we're turning around and seeing the bride? And they're like, oh, no, not really. Why should we? It's like, right, this is what we're going to do, boys, just to make it fun. So when bridesmaids are walking down, best man, just give him a running commentary of everyone that's coming down. He can have a little look over his shoulder. He don't want to be stood staring at them and giving them awkward eye contact as they come down. Just, unless they want to, like, everything I do is always a suggestion. But 100% of the time, they always do what I suggest.
Because they don't really know what's going to play out. It's rare where they have a very specific thing they do want to do, isn't it? They almost want your guidance. They're desperate for it.
Yeah. And I think lads especially love it when you give them a job or a role or something like that. So I'll go, right, the most important thing, and I'm speaking to best man and groom here, is when the bride comes down, she's probably going to turn before she gets to the aisle and then walk down. Last thing she wants is you to turn around and see her when someone's going to be fluffing her dresses and she's stood there not moving. She would rather you see her once that's done and she's took a few steps. So best man, you can look, again, running commentary of everything that's happening. No one can hear what you're saying, apart from my TX in top pocket at groom. But when the bride comes in, let her have her dress fluffed out. Once she's took 2 or 3 steps down, put your hand on the groom and be like, Andrew, turn around and see your bride. Let's do something and make him cry. Come on, best man, let's do it. And they'll laugh and they're like, oh, that, like best man will be like, yeah, I'm going to have him crying. Groom will be like, bloody hell, I'm already crying thinking about it. But again, it's another moment where you're just looking after people and they're not going to, I think when people are confident and they know what's going to happen in a moment, they can enjoy it more because they're not worrying about, should I do this or should I do that? It's fine. I've just told you what's the best thing to do. And then you can you can strap in to the roller coaster and just ride it then.
Yeah. It's a brilliant balance, isn't it? Because you're doing things that are going to make a great shot, but also give a great experience. And is that the kind of like key to everything that you're doing with your work? It's the kind of balance of experience and shot.
It's knowing what's going to happen next. I always like to call it creative documentary. It's going in there, just putting people at ease, putting people in the right positions, giving them advice, but it's advice that's going to make them confident and feel good, but it's also the same advice that's going to give me a good shot.
Yeah.
But it's putting them in the right place and standing back and just letting it all unfold and catching it. And like, I'm always confident of knowing when things are going to happen then as well. And I don't have to get registrars involved to go in and tell them when to turn around and all that shit. Because you never know what they're going to do. Yeah. You know, I just take control of situations, but not in like a shouting manner. Well, apart from like confetti, but it's like just going up and like having a bit of a laugh with people in a conversation. And I'm not telling them what to do. I'm just sort of suggesting things. I'm like, oh, it'd be good if this happened. Or do
you ever have to dial it? Like,
oh God,
yeah, because I'm talking from my experience, because I'm similar to you. I've got a background in photography. So going from being a photographer to the videographer, when suddenly someone else is it was a hard transition for me initially, because I just go into the wedding day as normal, expecting I have to control it. And you think, no, someone else is expecting control it, and they're wondering what the hell you're doing it. So like, I've found out that over the years I've had to dial in, depending on, read the room with the photographer and work out how much they want me.
Social chameleon,
yeah. So is that what you do basically?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, no wedding day is the same, and you know, I mean, sometimes you go to some weddings and it's like pulling teeth. It's like herding cats, and you're like, oh my God, this is a struggle. And you know, you can do so much, and then you're like, sometimes there's certain shots I like to get, but I'm like, I'm not even going to attempt to do that today because they're not the right crowd. They're not that type of person.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a wedding the other day and the photographer was super editorial, but the wedding we were at were like a barn with a load of young people just looking for a big party and a piss up. And this photographer was trying to get the couple doing the whole hand on chin like this. And it was so, I felt cringe inside. I would just really, and the couple were just kind of laughing through it and taking piss and not taking any of it seriously. And then I'd step in then and have my little moment. I'm like, right, we're going to run. You're going to jump up. You're going to pick her up and bum lift and swing. And they're like, fucking yes, let's go, Alfie, let's go. And they'd flipped. But then there's other weddings where I wouldn't dream of doing something like that. Maybe if a couple are really into what the photographer's doing, then I'll just go with that. I'll keep my mouth shut and maybe just piping every now and again when I need a little bit of extra movement, because I'm always very anxious about my videos. I never want my videos to look like a video of a photo shoot. I think a lot of videographers kind of just let a photographer deal with a couple shoots sometimes, and you can tell because it looks like a video of a photo shoot. It's like a video of a pose, a video of another pose, and it looks so unnatural. And I always think when you go into a wedding, it should be 50-50. If you're a videographer and you're not doing 50% of the workload in terms of directing and doing stuff, you're not pulling your weight. Like, I think with photographers especially, I think they do their best work when, for example, when you're doing couple shoot, they do a little posy thing, then you come in and do something so they can have a little moment to think about what they want to do next, rather than having to do everything. I do some poses that I know are really good for photos, and I'll make it so they get some really good shots, but then I'll add in little bits that just get the little bit of movement rather than, I never want a shot of them doing a pose. It has to have something to look like it's a moment rather than a pose. I think every couple has a set amount of posing fuel. I always call it posing fuel. And sometimes photographers are very keen to let's go do some couple shots now, just in case weather's not great later. And I'm looking, I'm like, it's bright summers, no clouds. I'm like, they're going to look shit. And I'm like, I don't want to tire them out now because they might not want to do them later on. And I think sometimes it can be a battle with a photographer to just reel them in a little bit, just so you don't exhaust a couple early doors. Sometimes it's a gamble. But sometimes them gambles can end up getting you the best shots later on. And I think sometimes, again, it's about experience for the couples. Don't force them into too much. Try and pick your battles and try and work out how much you're going to get out of the couple. Some couples, they love couple portraits and they'll go for as long as you can.
They almost want to be away from the wedding because maybe it's mainly family and stuff they've had to invite. They want the shoots. I've had that where I'm also thinking they want to go for more. I'm thinking I don't know what else to do. I don't want to do any more portraits.
But you can't do every single one the same. And I think you've got to be adaptable. And sometimes you have to have a conversation with a photographer if you think they're pushing them too much. Like, I've worked this year, I've had a few photographers where English isn't their first language and they've not picked up on maybe some of the subtleties or nuances of what a couple's body language is giving off. And I can sense that they're getting at the end.
Is it like a British couple that are kind of being polite when we can tell being British?
We can tell. But maybe this, I don't know, Eastern European photographer at this wedding in Greece can't pick up on those.
Yeah, because Eastern Europeans are really straightforward, you generally, aren't they? And quite blunt. They're like, we're done now. We don't want any more pictures. So they're expecting that.
So sometimes, again, it's just me trying to help the photographer so they don't push the couple too far and have a negative experience with the photographer. And I'll be like, I think they're done. Or I think we might only have 2 minutes left here, so we need to get the shots what we need and let them, they're ready to go back for a drink.
Yeah.
Just communication with everyone, trying to pick up on things. And just, again, on a wedding day, every supplier, we're all a team for the couple. We're all trying to make sure the couple has the best day ever.
If you are still delivering your wedding films on a USB or struggling to find a sleek, professional way to showcase your work, it's time to upgrade your delivery experience with VidFlow, the ultimate online gallery for wedding filmmakers. With VidFlow, your couples can watch their wedding films in stunning quality on any device, including their TV, making it easier than ever for them to relive their best day with family and friends. Plus, with custom branding, easy downloads and cloud backup, you get a premium, hassle-free delivery solution that makes you look as professional as your films deserve. I've been using VidFlow for the last year and my couples have been amazed by its slick interface, especially on their TV. It's like having their very own Netflix of their wedding films. You only pay for what you need, and each of my 4K galleries only cost me about £15, and they stay online for 10 years, so it's a complete no-brainer. Join thousands of filmmakers who have already made the switch, and try VidFlow for free by using the link in the description. Take your film delivery to the next level.
I know that you're shooting a lot and you're traveling a lot and you're moving house. There's so many things going on at the minute, which is going to be, I imagine, keeping you away from getting stuck into edits. So I guess my question is on that. Do you have anything in place to get through the edits quickly? Because I know you don't outsource anything, do you? You do it all yourself.
No. I mean, today and yesterday I've done some editing, but before that I'd not done a drop of editing for about 7 weeks. Not one bit.
Wow.
For
How
7
big is the
weeks.
backlog?
19.
19. Okay.
19.
And how long would it take you to do each deliver? Like, how many days of solid working would it for each wedding?
If I sat down in the morning, I could do everything I need for. I could do everything for one wedding in one day.
Well, I guess
So-
what's your general deliverable? Is that like,
Deliverables.
yeah, for that
So-
one wedding out on average.
So my main package that everyone goes for is just a 10 to 15 minute long film, full recording speeches and ceremony. That's it.
Yeah.
So that long film, everything's almost chronological, and it's so easy to put together. I'm not going to say it's thrown together, but I've shot with the edit in mind. It's so easy. Like I could do that like half asleep. It's bang, it's done. Then if I have an add-on for like the social media stuff, so I've got that long chronological video that you could do in your sleep. Then with the social media stuff, it'd be like the reels that I post to Instagram for 1 minute, for 2 minutes. Like, don't really do anything in between, because why would you? No one's seeing that. Like, I think if a couple want a wedding video, they want more. Like, I think a couple would rather have more content than something overly edited and shorter. I think couples appreciate a shot, even if it's bad lighting, if it's of a relative doing something nice. Like, the chronological film is for the couple. It's as much as I can shoot on the day, while, obviously keeping a nice pace to it and a nice, grade and style to it, but it's for the couple. The reels are for me to get more bookings. It's Instagram, people aren't watching a 4-minute film. They're not even watching a 3-minute film. With my edits for Instagram, I have to get you in the first couple of seconds, or you've scrolled past. I need to put all 10 of my best shots from that wedding first. I cannot open with a 10-second drone shot, because people have scrolled away before they're even 20% through that drone shot. By the way, it really annoys me when people open with a drone shot and the drone shot is pulling away from the venue and taking us away rather than going in. Like, why are we going away from the venue? Are we leaving? No, if you're going to open with a drone shot, go to the venue, take the viewer to the venue. That's a little rant over there. But yeah, so sometimes they book the social media stuff. If they don't book it and it were a really nice wedding, I will do that edit for myself anyway, because that's what I want to post on Instagram. And there's no pressure to that. I can use whatever music on there. I'll do it exactly what I want. I'll put the clips in that I want, that's going to help me get seen by other, people, and try and just stop people from just scrolling past, really. So I don't see the point in making edits that are the long film for the couple or the reel that's going to get you clients. I know a lot of people do 4 minutes, 5 minutes, all these different. For me, it just seems pointless, because no one's watching that. It's not for the clients to catch them, and it's not for the couple, because they'd probably rather have something a bit longer where they're seeing a bit more of the day.
Yeah, because I think I've mentioned this so many times on the podcast, but the structure, which is my structure, which is kind of an outdated one now, is you'd have your longer films, your feature films, which that's for the couple that they want. They want as much content as possible. But then we used to do the 3 to 5 minute, because that's what we used to do as our marketing. But this was before Instagram. This was before 60-second reels and stuff. So it's almost like that's redundant now. It's more 60-second and then a 20-minute or something like that. Or
absolutely.
Minute. So what is your structure for your reels? So in terms of aspect ratio, what you shoot in, are you on the day, are you shooting things in a certain style knowing it'll work well for a reel? Because I know your style's got high energy and a lot of movement. Does that movement translate well into the longer films as well, or is that mainly with the kind of reel in mind?
No, I have sometimes. I mean, you might go to a wedding and you think, this ain't going to be a portfolio wedding. So I will probably actively be more steady, knowing I'm filming more for the longer film.
Yeah.
If it's a wedding, you're like, yeah, this is a banger. I can't wait to get this on Instagram. I'll shoot some extra shots, which is a bit more like for confetti, for example. Once I've started confetti, I might just do a whip down to the floor and whip back up, just so I can start a shot where it's whipping up to them, and then, because that'll look good when it's like fast shot, like for the beginning of one of my crazy Instagram reels. You do shoot quite different. But if it's like, sometimes at the end of my long films, when it's like dance floor and it's a bit faster paced, sometimes I mix some shots from the day at the very end as a bit of a nice climax, a nice finish to the film, where it's a few nice couple shots maybe the confetti shots at the end, so it's high tempo to finish the video off with. But yeah, I do shoot slightly different. Some days when I'm thinking it's going to be a portfolio wedding and I want a few more of these sort of faster paced shots, a bit more handheld, a bit of shake to it. So it has that sort of documentary feel, that sort of, energy. It's like,
yeah.
I've always thought, like with movement especially, there's always a reason for it. Dance floor, like I love to feel the kinetic sort of energy of a dance floor in the camera movement. So once I'm on there, it's handheld, it's whipping it round, it's like trying to bounce with people. And like, when, what's that song where it's like, we're rolling and they're going in and out? I'll sort of go in with the camera, rolling and going in and out like that. And I like lock up like that. And I try and like move in and out with the camera. And I'm like whipping round like that. And I'm still like locking it in so it's not like flopping all over, but like just moving about. I think,
you're matching the energy of the crowd to like kind of immerse people in that feeling.
I can remember seeing a BTS from when they were filming La La Land, and they had like a camera on like a big stick gimbal thing, and he were like doing that and like whipping it round and like going from like a really sharp shot of someone dancing to like whipping quick, but whipping straight into the next shot of someone else dancing. It just, I don't know, I feel like it gives you dance floors like real energy, and it's all about giving off that feeling. Like I want to feel that dance floor. I want to be in the middle of it. I want to feel like I'm in there with people, and like I want to feel like I'm bouncing around with them, almost like POV and just being part of it. And I think with my videos especially, I probably shoot, calmer, like more slow like that in a day, and it builds up, and I probably get more actiony as the tempo of the day builds up. So like I'll use like a gimbal for like detail shots of the room or first dance. Like for first dance, I always got inspired by the original Disney cartoon Beauty and the Beast, because I think it was the first time they used a 3D scene for the ballroom, 3D generated with the cartoons in the middle, and the camera sort of comes and sweeps down into an orbit around them. And when I first started shooting first dances, I was like, oh, well, that's the goat shot right there, Beauty and the Beast, the ballroom. So I love to orbit round a couple with a gimbal for first dance. And then as soon as everyone piles in, camera's off, I'm in there, I'm in the mix, I'm right in the middle, and I'm throwing it around just to convey that different emotion into the camera movement.
Yeah, I've noticed
Alfie, sorry.
That's what I really love, like your dance floor footage. I absolutely love it. And it's very similar to like Steve from Blue Ridge, who we've had on the pod as well. I know he's he's great at that, and he's a massive fan of your style. So like, and I've found myself, do you know when you kind of like adopt stuff by accident? Just you see something you like, and it kind of gradually becomes how you work. And I found myself getting in there. That I like to be in close with a wide lens and be moving with the people. Yeah. And what I found's really cool about it, if the dance floor isn't that energetic and there's only a few people, it still looks good. Because
absolutely.
It makes a non-busy dance floor look busy somehow and like exciting.
Another thing with dance floor, I feel like my dance floor is pretty good. I'm pretty confident in that part of my video, and I never use lights at all, ever. A lot of the time I've been shooting on the 35 1.2, and I'll just put it to like 50,000 ISO and just get in there. Like, imagine if you were a guest at a wedding.
At 1.2, are you shooting really wide open or?
Yeah, bang it on 1.2, straight in there. So imagine if you were a guest at a wedding, you've had a few drinks, you're a bit self-conscious because you've had a few drinks, you want to dance, you want to have a party. Now imagine someone puts a light onto you. I just think you would feel insecure straight away. You'd be like, oh, right, get that light away from me, and like want to get out of the space. This is why I really dislike when content creators come with little LED lights on their phones. Or I've had a few photographers use constant LED lights. Why? I don't know. Instead of bouncing a flash. And that's really pissed me off, because I'll go in there, I'm exposed for like a shot, I'm in there dancing, and people are like dancing to the camera. I'm getting a really good shot, and one of these fuckers with an LED light shines a fucking floodlight onto my subject. Instantly, it blows my shot out, and they're like, why are you shining a torch on me? Like, I'm having a good time. Don't put a light on. Like, it completely, this goes back to me talking about guest experience. And I think sometimes if you haven't got like a good lighting set with a DJ, the band, the stage production, you might not always get good ambient light. But I still think even when the lighting's not great, you're going to get better shots. Rather than putting lights in and lighting things a bit better, Plus, I had taken lights with me to France through.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. It's funny when you say about the content creators, because they're breaking the two cardinal rules of Alfie Wright: the guest experience and the shot. They're ruining the shot and the guest experience. So it's like the two main things.
It has really riled me, and I've had to sort of say to them, look, I'd rather you didn't use a constant light. But if you have to, don't shoot something I'm shooting. If I've gone over and someone's dancing with me and I'm getting that shot, don't come and shine a light on them. Like, you'll have to wait until go shoot another part of the dance floor. Like, it's been really difficult. That's a part of the clashing I've had.
I can imagine it, because let's kind of go into content creators a little bit, because, well, let's start with, because this, I think it was you.
Is this going to get us cancelled, Drew?
I don't know. Yeah, like, my thoughts on content creators, I've got no problem with them whatsoever. I think anything in the wedding industry exists because there was a need for it, and they've come out of nowhere. But one thing that has bothered me, and I know you've had run-ins with this, is when you've got suppliers bringing their own content creators, and it's nothing to do it's nothing for the couple. It's just they and even when, like, these people say to you, the couple have said it's okay, you're thinking, yeah, but they don't really understand what's going on here. They don't know what the process. They don't know that this person is then going to interfere with the photographer and the videographer that they've hired. They just assume that it's going to be great content, and we never get to see this content they're doing anyway. It's not like we get to use it for our film. But you've had a similar experience yourself, haven't you?
I've been really vocal about this on social media. Again, like, my priority is always the couple having a good day, and having a million cameras pointing at them by strangers, that is not how I imagine anyone having the best day of their life. So I'd had a few bad experiences of, like, people, suppliers, florists, production teams and stuff like that, bringing their own videographers, photographers to come and get shots of a setup, but then hanging around to get shots of, like, bride walking down the aisle. I had a wedding where I walked in once and the band's videographer were going around getting shots of the table setups. And I'm like, well, what relevance does that have? I've had suppliers posting videos the day after the wedding when the couple hadn't even posted yet. I was like, don't. So, yeah, I've just had a lot of bad experiences, and it sort of built up to, I had this, the wedding where my camera overheated on the white runner at Grantley Hall. So I'd had a really nice morning. So I was shooting solo. There were two photographers. We just left the bride. The bride and groom I got to know really well because I'd seen them at some other events. I had a lovely call. Like, I feel like we'd built up a really good relationship. So I'm walking down to ceremony and I can see three random people with cameras, big cameras. There's a photographer with a dual harness, two videographers with cameras on gimbals. So I walked straight over to them. I'm like, hi guys, just checking who you are because we've got a wedding. And they were like, oh, photographer, videographer here with the string quartet, a videographer, a videographer with a florist. And they're like, oh, we've got permission and don't worry, we won't get in your way, but, we'll just stand next to you. And I went, right, guys, I'm going to stop you right there. You are not staying here for the ceremony. It's a private event. The irony is, they stood next to a big fucking sign that says this is an unplugged ceremony and the guests aren't even allowed a camera. So there's no chance I'm going to let three strangers in. So, like, guys, you need to leave. They're like, we've got permission. I went, from the bride, and they all just looked at each other and went silent. They didn't. They've all just been booked by a wedding supplier to come. They have not got permission from the bride. I've had situations in the past where they have had permission from the bride, but a bride once told me that she got asked 3 days before the wedding by a supplier if they could bring content creator, and she was scared to say no in case they decided to do a bad job. She felt intimidated and blackmailed to say yes. So I then went to the groomsmen at this wedding. I explained the situation. I said, these three are not part of our team. They're going to get in the way. They need to be taken off site now. The groomsmen loved walking them off. Walked off. So anyway, I go to the front of the ceremony where you would be to film the groom. I'm stood with photographer. There's like a circle of flowers around us and it was quite tight and it was like 30 odd degrees. My camera A7S3 overheated. That's how hot it was. And before the bride walked down the aisle, she sent a message out over the speakers. The groom got really emotional. It was wonderful. It was lovely. The only two people he could make eye contact with because they were facing forward were me and the photographer. He was so comfortable with us two that he just he let himself be emotional. The shot, the moment were perfect. It were amazing. Now imagine if I'd have let them three stay and there were three random people with cameras next to us and he looks up and there's five people, three of them he don't know. He's so uncomfortable. It ruins that moment for him. That has ruined his ceremony, his wedding ceremony for the rest of his life. That moment for me was like a big light bulb moment for me where he's like, I'm not letting it happen anymore. I'm not letting wedding suppliers exploit a wedding day for their own selfish content at the expense of the bride and groom's experience. It is not on. It is, honestly, it's shocking. It's so bad. And later on that day, the string quartet were doing like the bride and groom's entrance and wanted their two shooters to get shots of that. But when everyone stood up for an entrance, the lines of sight are quite narrow. You know, you get little thin paths. I'm like, it's hard enough me getting a shot without two other fuckers getting in my way. And I'm like, guys, I will let you stay back at the wall in the corner there, but you cannot come between guests and what they've paid you to do. And they were really snappy with me. Like, and they're like, well, whatever. I went, I'm not, I didn't say it in a nasty way. I was just assertive. I'm like, that's not your job to film this. It's my job to do it. Like, you need to do your job. I'll do mine.
Yeah.
Since then, because that changed it for me. Any wedding I get now where I think it's going to be a big fancy wedding where this could be an issue, I've had the chats with bride and grooms beforehand, and I've told that story, and I've said, we don't give permission to anyone to send camera people to your wedding. I will share whatever you want. Any supplier wants anything, I'll share it in 2 years when I've edited the film. And I'm sure the photographers will share it because it all helps us. Any supplier that shares our work just gets it put in front of more eyes. But yeah, I've got 2 big weddings next week, which I've well prepared the bride and groom for, and they've given me consent to kick anyone who shouldn't be there off site. And I'm just ready for it now. I'm prepared for it. I think once you're in the mindset, it's the right thing to do. Like, I actually had a... Yeah, sorry, Ro, go on.
Sorry, mate. Like what you said is the right thing to do is to be educating our couples early on, so to empower them to say no to these people. Because, like you said, she almost felt like she'd been blackmailed to a certain extent before, and she felt. But you're giving bride and groom confidence that you need to give them confidence to make the right decision. I had pretty much exactly the same. String quartet brought a shooter, but I had the email from the bride, and it's the day before, and it said our band because I think it was the string quartet, but also the band in the evening, because they're all the same people.
Like 2 days before the wedding, and they're not even giving, like, you might not have seen that email till after the bloody wedding. It's bollocks. It's bollocks.
I was like, whatever. I'm sure I'll deal with it.
You don't want to rock the boat, do you? Most people just don't want to rock the boat. I just want to go in, have an easy day, and not cause a scene.
Exactly. So I just said to the bride, okay, that's fine. I went, I just said, okay, I'll speak to him on the day, because I was just really, the way it was set up, it was at Kin House. Have you shot there? And
no, but it looks lovely.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. But like out in the garden where we were, there's a lovely spot to set up a camera at the back where you can hide it, but it is pretty far back. So
if anyone walks in line of that,
exactly, I know
what's coming.
So I was just I was just worried about that. So I was like, I really want to speak to this person, because the string quartet woman came up to me and I said, yeah, that's fine. Can you send them over to me just so I can have a quick chat, and just so I can tell them where my cameras are, just so they know not to be in the way, basically. And he didn't come over to me. I had to go seek him out myself in the end. And he didn't say a fucking word to me. Do you know when you're talking to somebody?
Yeah.
Like, and he was just staring at me, not saying anything. It was really strange. I mean, he didn't get in the way of that much. He did stay out of the way of that camera. But then throughout the rest of the day, he shot the whole wedding like me. And he was just in the back of my shot all the time. And the couple won't know that. And on the dance floor, he always seemed to be directly opposite me the entire time.
Well,
and it was
a lot of these people doing this job are wedding videographers. They don't know the etiquette. They don't know the routines. They don't know the places you probably should be stood. So they're always going to get in the way and fuck up your shots. And get in the way of like guests as well. And it's an extra camera person. Guests don't want to see cameras, do they?
No.
Like, they don't want to see cameras.
And it's such a battle for us videographers to be able to bring a second shooter to our weddings. So how the fuck are people bringing these spare ones that we don't even benefit from? It completely blows my mind.
I had a makeup artist, so I was telling this story at a wedding recently, because I thought, this is a nice wedding. I'm going to tell this story in case I have this issue today. And I was telling this story, and makeup artists were like, oh, do you want to finish that story, Alfie? Because I've got a content creator coming in half an hour. And I went, yeah, I'm going to finish my story. Anyway, content creator comes, makeup artist is coming in every 2 minutes because she knows she's getting shots. Then the bride and groom did a first look before ceremony, wanted just me and the photographer. So content creator filmed it from behind a wall like this. Then came and did like a little couple shot with us. And then when I sat down for dinner that day at the wedding, I'd been tagged in a reel on Instagram. I looked the makeup artist had posted the full reel on the day of the wedding of the bride getting ready, the intimate private first look, and a couple shot. So straight away I messaged her. I'm like, I think you need to take that down. There might be evening guests who haven't come to the wedding yet, and you've already posted the bride on social media. Like, she might not have wanted that first look going anywhere. She might not have even wanted me to share that anywhere. Like, that was completely private. Like, why would you post that? And you don't post before bride and groom. At least you don't take that away from them. You know, the first post is Mr. and Mrs. And she sent me a really snotty message back saying, well, in 20 years of being in the industry, I've never had a message like this. Do you know what? I actually questioned myself. I'm like, am I in the wrong now? Is this just what younger generations are doing? But everyone I talked to were like, no, that is wrong.
Surely, yeah. Like the kind of, I mean, I could maybe understand that she'd probably have, like, she does, like, do you know when they do that reel where they do the makeup going on from start to finish? Maybe that's a thing. But even then, that seems too much.
You still don't post until a few days later.
The first look is out of bounds completely and utterly. Like, I don't know why they're hanging around for that moment as well. Like, it's a battle for content, isn't it? It's everybody desperate for content. And this kind of gets me on to our next point, which is, I think content creators are all our fault. Because, like you mentioned it earlier as well, at this current time, I have 2 different sax players begging me for footage, which obviously I said on the day, yeah, I'll send you some footage over. But I can't be going in and getting this footage out for them. They can't be receiving footage before the couple have received the film. It's just can't work like that. But because of them,
why is it always sax players?
It is, isn't it? Sax players are so keen, so desperate for it. Like, honestly, but because there's that delay between them getting their footage and they need that footage, content creators have been spawned because of that, haven't they? So it's almost us to blame. But then at the same time, it's this whole fast culture that there needs to be respect for the wedding day and what it is, and the kind of work we create takes time. Yeah. So we can't just be throwing bits and bobs out here to people that aren't the couple, really, can we? But it's just, I think we've created the monster, but also we need to be the ones to kill it.
You know what? I genuinely just kind of feel sorry for suppliers, because I feel like everyone's a victim to Instagram and content, and you know, everyone wants to work. Everyone's trying to just get work, and that is the way to get work, unfortunately. And sometimes you feel bad because they just want to get these shots so they can hopefully lead to some more inquiries and more work, but it has to be in a respectful way. And so I was talking to a celebrant called Nat, and she said a word that really got me thinking, and she said suppliers need to be classy. Like that, that word, classy. Doing all these like things for Instagram, all these extra shots, it's not classy. And I think if you ever want to be a supplier that breaks into that top tier of weddings, working with amazing wedding planners who do all these inspirational weddings, I think they're going to really appreciate classy suppliers who go, do an amazing job, don't fuck about, and they just look classy on Instagram. But, you know, they're not posting like over the top stuff. They're just going and doing a good job. They're relying on good feedback, referrals, testimonials. I mean, it's hard, and it's hard to know what to advise and what to say and do. It's just a really difficult situation for everyone. And
because we're lucky that our work is the content.
It's the content. It's easy for us to sit here in a privileged position and us to say to everyone, oh, we can shoot as much content as we want, but you lot, fuck off.
Is there anything you're doing in particular to get work in terms of ads or any kind of marketing? No, that's not the answer I was hoping for.
No,
Alfie.
I know. I'm sorry, Roo. No, I did boost a post once and like went through the ads and, you know, like targeted like the ages and specific locations. I literally Googled 10 richest towns and locations in the UK and just put them pins onto the map, you know, just for shit that kind of everyone does. But I've never put any money into it. Like literally everything just comes through referrals, and Instagram, like collaboration posts have been mega for me. Like one of my favorite ever weddings I did at a venue called Castello di Celsa in Italy last year. Oh, what just unreal venue. I had an unreal wedding there. And a few weeks ago, I saw a wedding from there again, and it, like, if you saw the pictures, Jesus Christ, like the bride and groom are stunning, and they went viral. I've seen them shared all over at that venue. So like, oh God, I'd love to do another wedding there. So I shared my old video on stories, tagged the venue, and would love to work here again. They shared it. the same day, I got an inquiry for it. Like, it was literally that easy. Photographers, I get a lot of referrals from photographers now. Photographers must enjoy working with me, Roo.
Yeah. So your kind of assertiveness is actually it's helping out. It's
I hope
been great
so.
work.
And probably doesn't work for every photographer, but I try to make a photographer's day easier by helping them get better shots and just assisting with stuff that probably isn't my job to assist with, you know?
Yeah.
I just try, I think, do you know what? Just being nice goes a long way, I think. Like being nice to people, chatting at dinner time, don't go straight on your laptop to back stuff up. Chat to a photographer. Ask how the year's been going. Ask them what they're looking forward to. You know, really just take an interest in people and get to know people and get people to like you. Like, I would have done that anyway, because that's just my personality. I love talking to people. I love learning about people. But a side effect of that is that I've befriended a lot of people and they do send me referrals. And you know what? It's bloody nice going to a wedding when you know the photographer, you know some of the other suppliers. I know the makeup artist, I know the hairstylist. I can't wait to go and catch up with them all and have a nice day with them. I'm looking forward to seeing them as much as I am seeing the bride and groom and having a good day with them. Like, just being nice goes such a long way.
I had that exact experience this weekend. It was that wedding where I said, well, I had like kind of 5 hours sleep, and it was like from between the doubles. And the second wedding was I was recommended by a photographer, and then kind of like going to that wedding when you're a bit exhausted, but then you got a friend when you get there. Straight away, I was like, I feel like fresh. Yeah. Honestly, because then you're bouncing off each other. You got your mate there with you on a day. Again.
You have a catch up, and it's great.
The day flies by, doesn't it? And you know how to work together. The couple get the best out of both of you, and it's just a wonderful experience.
Hi, it's Roo here. Just interrupting the podcast to tell you about the Coda membership. The Coda membership is for filmmakers who want to level up their work and join a supportive community. You get access to an ever-growing library of online masterclasses by some of the UK's best wedding filmmakers. On top of that, you'll also get free access to our Coda workshops that are taking place up and down the country. These are hands-on days where we share, critique and improve our work together. You get online access to all of our conference talks, and if you've been struggling to get a hold of tickets to our sellout conferences, with the membership you now get first dibs. So come and join us so together we can learn, grow and connect. Visit coda-conference.com or click the link in the description below.
It's from your Instagram stories and your Instagram reels and the collabs. That's where the work's coming from, mainly.
Yeah. Do you know what?
And referrals from photographers.
I believe that, you know, with how AI is going into every sort of industry going right now, I think more than ever, couples are going to want to invest in characters, in people, not faceless businesses anymore. I think it's so important to I know a lot of the time we find it really cringy going on camera and like doing a little selfie and talking and stuff like that, but couples really do appreciate it. I think they want to see you as a human, and the amount of times I walk into a bridal prep and already they're asking how my kids are. And it's wonderful because it means the couples get to know you even more. Like, so all that rapport building that we've talked about, going through the calls and stuff, just by putting yourself online, couples invest in you even more. And it makes your day easier again because they know you're a sound person. They know you've got kids. They know you're a dad, and they know you've got a good sense of humour and you're going to have a laugh with them on the day. And yeah, I think the quicker you get doing that, the more that's going to help you get bookings as well.
Yeah, bringing that human element. There is a question I did want to ask you from earlier, mate, and it's kind of with someone that is as busy you are, and it's so hard for you to get in front of your computer. How come you've never tried? How come you've never kind of adopted like outsourcing? Is it just
outsourcing?
Is it just that you want to have your hands on everything that you put out there?
Not really. I'm just greedy, Roo. I'm just greedy. Look,
you want to keep the money for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting as many weddings as I could probably handle, to be honest, but I've got all winter to edit them. Like, there's no rush to edit them. I can do it in good time. I do enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy every part of this job. Like, I love going to wedding days, being sociable, and, you know, I probably come across as ADHD. And I love them sort of days, but I do love just then recharging my social battery and seeing what I've shot and piecing it together. I really enjoy building a video. And, you know, when you get them weddings where you're like, oh God, that were a good day. I love piecing together like good Instagram reels. And this might might sound a bit twatty, but I love watching them back. I love going back on my Instagram and seeing the weddings. I love watching my own videos. Is that bad? But I love reliving the days and like, oh, that were a good day. And I'm my own biggest critic as well. Like, I will watch old videos and I'll critique them and I'll be like, could have done that better. Maybe I could have exposed differently, graded differently, white balance were off, or I could have been stood in a different place, or I could have not been running my own mouth and captured the audio when that were happening. I think by editing your own stuff, you are going to learn more. Like, you can critique, analyze your own performance. I'm analyzing my shots constantly. Like, I've got to the point to where the way I shoot is almost the exact length of clip that I need for my feature films. Like, I can remember once I was importing loads of files and about 10 in a row had the exact same file size to the megabyte. Like, it was exact. And I thought, fuck, SD card's corrupted. I'm done. It wasn't. I'm literally pressing start and stop the exact same length of time. Like,
mine are like that as well, funnily enough.
You can build efficiency in that way by constantly seeing what you've shot, go shoot better because I know what I'm editing, and it's like a circle of being better. Yeah.
What's your delivery time? Are you keeping, and are you able to keep within it?
The delivery times at the moment have absolutely gone out the window. I will always try and, when I'm saying bye to a couple, I might give them a rough idea off. They ask him the day, I'll tell them, or I'll message them the day after if they've said, oh, thank you for yesterday, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, thank you guys. I look forward to editing it. It's going to be X amount of time, roughly. I am trying to update my Instagram story with like a cue every now and again. And I've been really anxious about it the last couple of weeks because, I've done next to no editing. The house move has thrown me off more than I ever could have imagined. Like, literally, if I open that door behind me, there's a pile of IKEA furniture still to build. And I think, it's good communication. I think couples appreciate, like, I'm a normal person. I am outsourcing it. I'm not passing it off to someone else to do. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to take care with it when I do it. I'm not going to rush anything. You can have this video for the rest of your life. What's an extra few weeks if I'm going to make it perfect for you? What couples don't like is radio silence. If you're not visible on Instagram, you've not done like a little face talk on the screen for a few weeks, they've not seen you, they don't know what you're doing. You might have done wedding films and buggered off. Might need to edit that room. Just do a bleep.
Yeah. I think it's 2 years I've been doing this podcast, and somehow he has not been a mention at all the entire time. I kind of want to get him on and quiz him about it all.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some story to it, but I think last thing you want is radio silence. Just communicate with couples and just like, I'll put my cue on there. I'll be like, these are my next 5. That brings me up to, I don't know, my July weddings. That's all. As long as they see progress and they see you cracking on, that's fine. I think that's the secret to it. Well, it's not a secret, is it? But
what about your teasers that you do for Instagram? Where do they come in the process? Are you able to get those out earlier, or do you literally wait till you've done the films?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I'll do the feature film, which is just a piece of cake to do. Just chronological. Copy that project. And then just slide it across the timeline, and I know where all the good stuff is then in that project. I can just drag it over and everything's linked up, and always do the longest film first and then work down from there. Like, I could never do it.
They're not expecting to get not expecting to get the Instagram teaser any sooner. You've communicated that. Because I've had that. I offer the teaser.
That'd be a nightmare.
As an add-on, and there's no mention of it coming any sooner. But a few people have assumed that they get that quicker. I think it's because it's called a teaser. Yeah. You get, like a cinema release, the teaser comes out before the film. They're assuming.
You could be clever and do the long one, then do the short one, send them the short one, leave it 2 weeks, and then send them the long one.
Yeah, but it's still going to be. It's still going to be 12 weeks down the line.
Fuck her. Yeah. I think if I were going to offer a teaser, I'd have to charge a lot for it, like a lot, to make it worth it to me, because otherwise that's really going to...
If you're doing one that's going to be
couldn't do it.
Before,
Or even outsource, like if I were going to outsource anything, it'd be that.
Yeah.
But build all that price, that cost into what you're pricing. I almost take as long to do the 1 minute teaser as I do a 15-minute feature, because sometimes that's where you need to be imaginative, and that's where I'm like, I know everyone's going to see it, like potential clients. Also, other videographers, they're going to be judging it as well.
Yeah.
I know that like you and all the other guys are going to be like watching it and go, oh, I wonder what Alfie's been up to this week. So there's always that pressure in there that of wanting to put something out that everyone's going to be like, oh, that's good.
But it gives me hope though that someone that gets so much work from his reels isn't having to get them out there really fast after the wedding. You doing them in their own time. Yeah, what's it matter when they post? Like the one I posted the other day were from about 3 months ago. Yeah. Well, Alfie, mate, thank you so much for coming on the podcast again. It's been great.
All right, mate. I love the chat.
Mate. Yeah, mate, same. And especially, it's always great catching up with you, mate. And I hope to get to see you again in person real soon.
Oh, will do, mate. Oh, actually, I've just addressed the elephant in the room. If you're watching the video of this, I am wearing my 10-year-old's gaming headset because I couldn't get the microphone to work on my computer. And I don't want you to think, what is he doing with that? What a nerd.
But hey, appreciate the crispy audio though, guys.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you for having me, Roo. Look forward to seeing you soon, mate. And yeah, we'll have some beers.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Coda podcast. To find out more about the other educational resources we have on offer, including our annual conference and yearly membership, please visit coda-conference.com.